everybody's a lot more hardworking this year than they ever have been. Just really, really like proud of how far we've come. I was like, wow, I really want to lead this band next year.
We're a big family and we practice a lot. I think so far this season it's been around 300 hours invested in just practice, and we work as a unit to just create a production that people really love and we love to perform.
Band means a lot. You know, I really make sure I put all my effort into it because I enjoy playing music. Interesting instead of being on the listening side, being on the performing side, because you see all the hard work that goes into it.
Not a day goes by that I don't enjoy what I'm doing, and I think that's really important in a band setting, especially.
Everyone's here, they're doing the best that they can, and I mean the show has come such a long way. They're all putting in all these hours, and we get all the trills, we get the cool melodies, and that's what I like. It's fun music.
Band is something different, something special. It really brings us all together. Our band is our family. Feeling and the adrenaline rush you get makes you want to stay with them. We put countless hours into this. We've been working on this since like June, so that's almost 6 months.
It was just an amazing experience. Thank you so much to carry on through high school until I.
This year we're doing really, really well. We've got an insane show. The crowd likes it. We like marching it. Music is great, the drill is great.
I remember first I saw the band, it was something really, really amazing.
Like just being there and like seeing everyone around you actually know who you are just makes like everything through high school just go a lot easier.
You know, my 4th year here, I've witnessed a lot of growth from this program, and we've come a long way musically, you know, all around. We've grown a lot, and I'm very proud of this program and this organization.
Well, our show this year is titled I Am Imagination, and it is about imagination. I think that this year, show-wise and mentality-wise, it's just another step up from last year. It has been a challenge though, because moving up a class and being a part of a class that has so many good bands this season. We got Jupiter, like Seminole, Palm Beach Central, and again this year, and it's kind of putting a little pressure on everyone to not only be their best, but to be better than their best.
And all of a sudden, in the past 3 years, we've just really quickly been rising up and making an impact and getting our name out there.
We've done really well, competitions always placed at least.
Show-wise and mentality-wise, it's just another step up from last year.
I got stronger and I learned how to like move in time. First of all, when we're standing at standby for hours and they're just talking to other people, we have to stay here and you can't talk, and it gets really annoying, but you gotta just keep going and you get used to it, and that helps with other aspects in life where you want to get something done really fast, but you know it takes time. You have to use patience for that, and it works good.
I learned that I can be patient and not rush through things like I normally do. I got stronger mentally, as in like I figured things out better, I work with people better, and I've also gotten stronger too, like my upper body and stuff.
We practice at least 9 hours every week, and I think we're all in it for the same thing at this point. We just keep moving forward, and I think that really set a precedent for the years to come.
in my junior year right now, and it's just been so fun. I mean, through all the competitions, the hours, it's just meeting new people, getting to do what everyone loves to do, which is just making music. I mean, a lot of the upperclassmen can tell you that after all the hours you put in, I mean, you're done by now.
So challenges is like each year, of course, like we lose seniors that are really like valuable players or marchers or anything. And I think like each year it's always an adjustment, like losing like 10 to 15 really valuable people and having to bring in freshmen and teach them the ropes and show them just how great this program is.
Shows are always fun. I mean, we're all striving for that one goal. I mean, we all want to look in time. We want to play the same thing. I mean, you want it to sound as powerful and as good as possible. So, we always strive for the best technique, for the best sound. You always just want to be performing to look your best. So when it is time to play, you're always at your full potential. You're never behind on what you want to be because you didn't give it all when you should have.
Band is a really awesome activity to do. People don't realize it because you think, okay, you're doing band because you like music and music is great and sharing music with people is awesome. But there's more to band than just the music. Band is basically a family, and coming into band when you come into high school, you don't really expect to be as close to these people as you end up getting.
For me, it'll be kind of weird to not do band because it's just kind of part of my life for like a long time. And if I stop, it'll be really weird. I wouldn't know what to do.
Band has provided a home for lots of people in this school, and without it, they really probably wouldn't have the high school experience they had. It's really amazing to see kids your age stepping up to do something completely different. It's a lot harder than you're normally used to.
Band is just a different experience from everything else. I mean, it's hard at first, but it becomes really fun, and it's just something different from everything else, and it takes your mind off of everything that's going on. Like, every day I look forward to my band class, and we play, and just the music gets my mind off of everything that's going on.
The really positive stuff is basically the whole experience, because you show up and you're really scared to do things, at least I was, but along the way you make a lot of friends.
You spend so much of your time just in one place with the same people for many days a week, and you just become a family and enjoy being around them.
My closest friends are either in band or color guard, or they do some type of music. Just music has a way of bringing people together, and I absolutely love that. Like, you could speak a completely different language, but as far as music, you'll always understand what's going on.
Through the activity itself and through the people that are welcoming you into it, you form such strong bonds with people that you can't really get anywhere else, because there's something really special about creating something and working towards a common goal with so many people, and it's a really special thing.
Feel that emotion, especially when you have an ensemble that's really putting out 110% into what they're playing, and just, you understand, and that's like the best part about it.
At first, there was a pre-camp, and I was a little anxious about it, but it became alright, and then the real band camp started. There's just long practices, but I got used to them.
In the band camp, I started out, I was excited. I wasn't looking forward to the whole heat and running around thing, but I was still excited nonetheless. And then we started getting into the show.
Definitely creates a benefit to how active you'll be later on in the show.
It was weird at first, but I started getting used to it more and more. It was kind of like annoying having to get up at 8 o'clock because it kind of cut down on my summer. I wanted to have summer.
You go through 10 hours a day in the blistering sun sometimes. You don't look forward to the hot sun, 90-degree weather outside with 10 tons of sunscreen on you, dripping down your face. Sometimes you go inside, but most of the time it's outside.
So the start of the season, we had a bunch of freshmen coming in with such positive energy. We had a group of people that you could tell were going to make history this season. We came in and we were set. We had our goal, we had our text, we had everything in line, and we were working towards it.
Pre-camp was okay because we were inside most of the time. Band camp, we actually went outside, and it was hot, and it was dry, and I was thirsty and dehydrated the whole time, and it was a mess, but it was also a lot of fun. I think the fun parts are remembering how hard it was at times and thinking, oh, I'm not going to make it. I need to get off the field. I don't think I want to continue this. Should I even do a next rap? And then keep going and realize, oh my goodness, look how strong I am. You know, you just feel so good about it. You're like, oh wow, I have pretty good endurance for doing that.
This is my second marching season. It wasn't as difficult as my first one. When I came in as a freshman, I did band camp. I thought this was the absolute worst thing I ever had to do in my life. It was the most difficult thing I've ever had to do, which it probably was, but when my second year came around and we went through band camp, it didn't feel all that difficult to me.
Really hard this season, and I think what's motivating us is the fact that we made finals last year and we're kind of like the underdogs in our class. We just moved up from 3A to 4A and it's our first time in 4A in a while, so we're really pushing this season.
I was really hyped about the beginning of the season. Last season we did really well with stolen elements and got a record because we got 4th in the state.
We kind of rose to the top relatively out of nowhere. We went to finals for the first time last year in a very long time, so it was definitely a rush. For me, it was only my sophomore year. So the year before, we had made it to states, but we got 7th place, so we didn't go to finals. And I didn't really know what to expect because I was a freshman. It didn't make a difference to me, but sophomore year when we made finals, it was awesome. It was like, wow, now we really know what it takes to get to finals. We have to work really hard next year.
Last year, when the season ended and we went to the Dome and all that, I decided, okay, I'm going to put 120% into the next season to make it the best I absolutely could. And this year I did that, and even if it didn't turn out the way we were all hoping, it was still my best season, and I wouldn't trade it for anything at all.
The season's gone very well as far as the marching band. It's a show that's pretty long. It's about 8.5 minute long show. We've been working on it little by little for quite a while. Added a lot of things, along the way. So it's still kind of a work in progress. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's all original music and drill and everything. It's called I Am Imagination, and I have some young instructors that have been with me almost as long as I've been here that are very, very creative. I give them a lot of free rein to come up with a lot of this stuff, so they do some great work.
Before first competition, most of the time it's usually nerve-wracking instead of exciting. You just get worried about what am I going to do, how are the crowds going to be, and how you're going to perfect this show, even though most of the time it's not really finished.
Eventually get impressed with how you're able to remember everything, like your sets and the music at the same time. Because I always thought I was going to bump into someone and end up crushing them with the geometer. It was weird. But the cool stuff. It's basically that. I mean, it's pretty cool how you're kind of used to the heat after a while. Everyone else is complaining. You're just like, this is pretty normal for band standards.
Okay, we did better at competitions than we did last year. We were doing pretty good. We kept getting best in class for a whole bunch of stuff like music and general effects and the color guard. The color guard did really well this year, so that was good.
Flanagan, that was my first competition so far. I was pretty nervous at first, but it was pretty good.
As soon as we went to the first competition, it was the best thing, like the best feeling.
I was unbelievably nervous. Like, I was shaking and kind of scared of all the crowds at every competition.
Once we finished and the crowd applauded, and that was just the best feeling. The next few competitions were the same.
The competition started all like becoming kind of similar, and they didn't feel too different.
You just memorize all the music and the spots that you need to be in. And it's pretty fun. It just gets a little tensing once in a while.
At first, I was really nervous. I was scared I was going to mess up, and everything was going to be like counted on me messing up. But that didn't happen, and then I started becoming more comfortable. I still was nervous every once in a while because I felt like I didn't practice enough or I just wasn't prepared. But it was either being nervous or not.
Every year has its challenges. I mean, we're fortunate, to come through some tough times and still the kids work hard and have some great success. We banded together and continued on doing well.
It took a lot to keep us where we wanted to be. So there was a standard we had set last year with the hopes and the goals that we had set for this year to outdo those standards, and it was really tough.
So we had to do an indoor performance with just playing our music in a gym. Since there's no moving around or anything, we just stand there with the music. We can't move at all whatsoever, and we're judged by the music that we play.
4A got rained out for our performance, so we had to do an indoor standstill, which was hard. Those hours that we worked and doing all of our visuals, we put in so many visuals this year, all that. We didn't get to do it. That sucked, but other than that, it was pretty good.
Each competition, we were proving ourselves more and more and more, and we knew where we could go, and we had such potential. We had the strongest show we've ever had. We thought that it was going to happen, but unfortunately, along the way, things got more complicated.
Despite the fact that at States it got rained out and we had to do an indoor performance, it was still fun, and I believe that was our best performance.
That was probably the best I ever played.
It was our best playing performance, even though we didn't march at that time.
States was one of the best parts of the season. I mean, it was a lot of fun, even though we didn't get to go to the dome, but it was still good. I loved our show and everything that happened along the way. I wouldn't take anything back.
got 8th place overall. All the scores were actually pretty close. If anything, it will be like 0.1 or 0.2 away from the rest of the bands. So unfortunately, yeah, we got into 8th place, but it was very close. Between the first place winner and the second place band, it was pretty much 2 points away.
The feeling that you get when you come off this time the gym instead of a field, we knew that we had put in as much work as we could possibly put in, and we had done everything we could have to have the best performance we could possibly have. It doesn't matter what the rating was, or the score was, or whatever, because we came out and we were all in tears because we knew that we had done our job. It doesn't matter what it took to get there. It took a big chunk of space and a lot of work, but we ended up getting there, and it was an amazing feeling of accomplishment.
Called Shakos. Each band member has them, unless they're a hit or they're tuba players. Our normal uniforms look like this. Uniforms are so old, and lots of them are ripped and torn because they're over 20 years old, which is way past their lifespan.
Well, I'm Brett Dawson, I'm band director here at Coral Springs High School. This is my 16th year here at Coral Springs High and 21st year in the county. The entire time I've been here, these uniforms have been here. They're barely hanging in there. The zippers are just coming undone, and kids are having to safety pin them together, just to keep them together, get them on the field.
These uniforms go back 20 years or so from what I'm told. They're probably on their last leg, and we're just trying to get a little fundraising to get them some money to purchase new uniforms.
The school has had a history of having some financial issues. Coming from a Title I school and not getting aid from our school has caused some issues. In a way, I think it might even hinder our performance. These uniforms are tight. They're like a maze to get through. They're old. They're falling apart. I know since I've had the same one for 4 years straight, it's falling apart.
Every single person in my section has had the buttons fallen off of their uniforms. A lot of people, the uniforms, we just don't have correct sizes.
We've had these uniforms since 1998. I really think it's time we get new ones, but it all depends on funding.
One of the aspects that I have noticed that has not experienced any growth with us is our uniforms. And right now, shifting into a new kind of band, a new atmosphere, a new environment, I think it's really important that we can feel that way, in uniforms as well.
Having band moms on site, sewing things and fixing buttons safety pinning. It's absolutely ridiculous because with a group of such high caliber, to have these uniforms that's so unrepresentative of what we're trying to show an audience, it's really sad.
Well, my uniform specifically, all of the buttons have fallen off, and I've had to sew them back on by myself. It's fine, I don't have a problem doing it, but I don't think that's how our uniforms should be.
Before every competition, we're in inspection, and you see person after person coming with a broken zipper and a broken button.
We definitely need new uniforms, save the band moms and the uniform corps masters a lot of pain, physically and mentally.
The uniforms were really thick and they kept in like all the hot air after the performance.
The ones that we have, they're smelly, they're 10 times thicker than they need to be.
No matter how many times you wash them, they're always going to be dirty, and it's like 2 inches thick of worth of cotton on most of your body.
It gets really hot during the games and the competitions.
They're really thick and they kept in like all the hot air, just a little bit like this, and then all the steam would fog up my glasses, and I would just be wondering why do we have such thick uniforms.
They're falling apart at the seams. There's buttons falling off, zippers breaking.
My own uniform, the only drum major jacket that fits me, has a big tear down the back. And every time the band parents restitch it, it just opens up again.
Our uniforms are really old.
Uniforms are kind of
One of my buttons fell off on the side. So, for me, I've personally had an issue with the uniform.
They would fall apart pretty easily too.
You have to use safety pins to hold the uniforms up, and the zippers are broken, so they have to use safety pins to hold the zippers.
The whole uniform's just falling apart, and there's been years and years of people sweating in those, and no matter how much you wash it, it's still going to be dirty.
There's a lot to complain about. It's really uncomfortable after you perform. The uniforms, they're so bad.
The pants are made out of this fabric. It's like really thick, and it doesn't let your sweat come out, doesn't let your body breathe.
It was kind of bad because I had to get my button sewed on at the last second.
My collar, the metal part that you're supposed to hook at the front, does not hook correctly. It instead stabs my neck.
All the heat's kept in, so on hot nights after a game, you want to get out of your jacket, so you open it up because he said we couldn't, and we can take them off. And you just get hit with these blasts of air, and you're like, I don't need that.
My pants do not fit my body type at all. I am a small framed person with long extremities. They don't make pants like that. You're either short and small or big and tall.
So I wore the uniform one time to go to Park Vista. Like, they've tried to fit me in one, but like some were too big and some were too small because they can't really just make new ones.
It's getting really bad. The hot days in Florida make it hotter than it needs to be also.
They've come apart so often. We have band parents that are constantly sending these to the hemmers, they're sewing them. We were at Park Vista over the weekend and we had kids rushing to get safety pins put into their shoulders and their pants just to keep these things together. So I had a March show with a missing button. I was minding my own business and it fell off.
And the buttons have to be sewn on every single time we put the uniforms on. It's just a lot of work to maintain.
They're falling apart. The zippers won't zip, and the snaps, they have started to wear out, and you can't really snap them all that well. We've had to like add new snaps. Everything's like falling apart. A bunch of uniforms have like a seam in the back, rips a hole in it. It's just, you can't fix that, at least not well, and there's really, like, they're just falling apart.
Well, they were here before I got here. I took over in year 2000. I think they were purchased the school year prior. Well, the buttons have become pretty tarnished and a lot have fallen off at this point. The pants, however, have really just...
Coral Springs High School is a Title I school. We've had a trend of having money issues, and my mom actually is treasurer of the program, and I never hear the end of what's going on financially with the program.
So we started a GoFundMe page on Facebook, merely because we don't have money to buy new uniforms.
buttons are falling off, and I know multiple people that like the little like strap on the side, it like dangles because the buttons are just not functioning.
Since I'm uniform quartermaster, I pass out these uniforms for 2 years now, and they're not in good shape. Usually what I have to do is sew things back together every time someone complains that it ripped or a button came off. Other times there'll be stains on it and smells, and I don't know where they came from. And it's just very worn down, and I know that some of the uniforms are just like old to even keep together. So it's very stressful just fixing these uniforms time from time again, knowing that they're not going to last for very long.
155 people are coming at you for alterations, or they need new pants because they're way too big or too loose. We don't always have something to give them because we don't have these wide ranges of sizes because we need new uniforms. A lot of these in-between sizes have broken beyond repair and we can't use them anymore. So some kids are stuck with these ridiculously large pants and some that are just way too tight. We don't have enough uniforms for the band kids that we need to supply. Since I am one of the uniform quartermasters, I have all these people coming to me with all these uniform issues. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do with all this? I'm sewing buttons onto people's jackets and poking myself with the needles, and it's so much effort, but I like being able to fix something and give back to my band program. But we definitely need new uniforms.
I feel like new uniforms would help with the whole heat thing. I mean, we live in Florida, so that's a huge factor of why we shouldn't absolutely overheat when we stick in our uniforms. I also feel like the new uniforms would kind of look better than the ones we've had for years upon years. The old ones are in shambles, the new ones would be much better for the new marching season. So,
With the intensity of having like an awesome uniform and a clean uniform and a healthy uniform, whatever, it brings an entirely different attitude. It's so fresh and so modern and so up to what we are now presenting as a program, because it's reflecting something that we're not anymore. So new uniforms are important. All 4 years of my being in band, it's a complete progression from coming in, not really knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, not knowing who to be with or how to get there and all this stuff.
I really enjoyed the amount of unity that we have. Like, we were very close, especially with the marching band kids. When, blood, sweat, and tears, as that cliche goes. But I really do love how really close together that we are.
Band is not like any other class or club you're going to take. Band is something totally unique. You get to create what you're feeling. It's a way how we express ourselves.
Knowing that in just 4 years is not that much time in the grand scheme of things. So in 4 years, going from where we were to where we are right now, there's only up. There's the only direction to even possibly go is up, because there's such good attitude and drive and motivation, and Mr. Dawson pushes us so hard that it just fosters this love that can't end anytime soon. So this program is gonna make history forever.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, Liana.
You're welcome.